Hey there, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the show with the worst camera angle of all time. And I set this up beforehand. It's the tripod. It's not me. I'm blaming something else external that's not me because Lord knows my ego can't take any criticism. Welcome to the show. It's a lovely Wednesday. We're here in what it's the is the end of August. It's already the end of August. This year seems to have flown by. Usually, I determine the time of the year depending on when I pay my taxes, right? And seeing from the money drained from my bank account in the past couple days, I could tell that we're nearing the end of the year, my friends. Welcome. We have an action packed episode. We have a lot of things to discuss. And by a lot of things to discuss, I mean me search, things that have to do with me. I'm my favorite subject. And I think if you've watched a lot of these streams, you would know that as well. Now, this one is this is actually a shirt that was sent to me by Manel. If I could show you the back of the shirt. If I could show you the back of this shirt, it says PigCake 69. I hope the camera's focused, right? Thank you for sending this out, Manel, if you're watching this, from the land of Portugal, which is, I believe, attached to Spain. It's my favorite part of Spain. I'm not a huge fan of Spain. I know that I have certain people that watch this from Spain, but unfortunately, with my schooling, I was mandatorily, if that's a word, taught about Spain and their fucking history and everything for 11 years in my school life because that was the curriculum that I was in. Pointless knowledge that I'll never use to this day. When am I going to be in a trivia show where I'm going to have to relay answers based on questions from Spain? Like, oh, hey, what's the date of this and the queen of this and the my people that were essentially in Spain for how many years? I don't. That's knowledge that's essentially useless. It's like the mitochondria being the what is it the brain? I'm trying to remember what everybody's mentioning as to in school they don't teach you anything valuable. They don't teach you things about your taxes. They just teach you that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, listen, all right, even if they taught you about taxes, you wouldn't pay attention anyways. Okay, you were there with your little AirPods, fucking trying to listen to whatever stupid song came out. You wouldn't have paid attention anyways, okay, you children. So we have a couple things to talk about, as you can see from the title of this particular stream. It's something that I've talked about many times on this particular venue, on ham radio, on the channel. I've talked about old people and their ability to drive or their lack of ability to drive. And it's something that to this day, I wish I could lobby some politician in order to enact a hard cutoff for maybe, I don't know, 65. Once you're 65, we should just swipe your license away from you. It's not, 65, we're going to give you the ability to drive. No. I want a hard wall. Build that wall. The ring light is for aesthetic, says Red Dead. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a ring light. I have a small light here. And the one thing I do hate every time I see a video from someone on Instagram or TikTok is the ring light reflected on their eyeballs. It really upsets me and it gets me aggravated because you could see the light. The point of the light, I mean, obviously here it's you could see it. You're not supposed to. But I think that adds to the shit aesthetic. For them, they intend it to light their face and you see the little eyes. People like to have the illusion of lighter eyes, so why not have this fluorescent fucking light bulb showing the eyeballs that you have? It's terrible. I hate that look, especially with the sunglasses. People try to copy Casey Neistat and put the sunglasses with the fucking eyeballs. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of any sort of ring light. Also, your light is in a shot. Okay, there you go. See, that's what we're getting at. All right, it's the aesthetic. Actually, fuck you. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep it there, okay? Because that's the aesthetic. That's, again, the vibe of the show. What else did I mention? Or what else was I going to mention as to the last stream? The last stream, I gave a little bit of info as to my peril, my medical peril, right? I thought that I was having a heart attack. It turns out that it was some form of anxiety. And the worst thing the doctor could have told me is that I'm 100% fine in every way, that there's nothing wrong with me. Because now I'm out here. I'm out here getting hungover. I'm out here drinking a lot. I'm out here back to having at least a little bit of caffeine, maybe once a week before workouts. So I'm out here doing stuff that's dangerous and not good for my body because the doctor said, hey, you're good. That's another problem we have. Our doctors are too easygoing. They tell you, hey, you're good to go. I remember a friend of mine, he was smoking cigarettes, and he asked the doctor, hey, man, is there anything I could do about this? The doctor asked him, hey, how many cigarettes are you smoking? He goes, maybe 6 a day. The doctor's response was, that's it? That's nothing. You're good. 6 cigarettes. I know people that smoke 3 packs a day. You're smoking 6 cigarettes. Get out of my office. Again, that's hyperbolic, but he did mention that was nothing. And in turn, it made my friend smoke more because now his baseline is 6. So essentially 0 is 6 now. So that was great advice, again, from an American doctor. So you can make fun of that if you are from a different country. The show is held together by Band-Aids and gum wrappers, and that's the way we love it. I agree. It took a while to get to this aesthetic, and as you could see, this aesthetic is really not much, right? It still took a long time. If you notice the first streams, right, you just see my hands. It's a shitty Samsung phone that I still have right there. Then you progressed a little bit. I wore the mask. It was even worse production value with Daniel as my producer because he would never pull things up. The point of another person when you're doing a show is that you're supposed to pull things up, right? If I mention something like right now, it would be great if maybe you would see something that's connected to the topic that I'm talking about. Now, obviously, I could do that, but it's going to require me managing and multitasking, which is the purpose of a producer. However, with Daniel as my producer, it's almost like it was a deterrent because he wouldn't pull things up. He would be distracted. He would be on his phone playing fucking Pokemon Go. That's another thing. We went the other day around. I forgot what we were doing. He's playing Pokemon Go while driving. Just driving, playing Pokemon Go. Cars behind him piled up. Just there lined up because he's going 20 miles per hour because he has to catch the thing in a certain place. Come on. Be better. I really need to get the...
Be better.
My favorite 2 people on the planet telling you to be better. Philip Smith, my favorite person on the planet, second to me, right? Second to the mirror, right? Says, there was a news article I read this morning where a guy went to VA to help with his PTSD, and a doctor out of the blue suggested maybe he should try assisted suicide, which didn't help much, I guess. It was on Reddit, so it's definitely 100% true. Okay, I was actually looking for stuff to talk about here because I actually care about the things that I mentioned on this live stream. So I was looking for particular topics, and I think I might have seen that. I popped up on MSN because unfortunately I use Edge, right? A joke I've made many times. The only thing I like to edge is myself. You get it? Sexually. But Edge is a browser that works best with Windows in terms of resource management, right? It comes default with the software, I guess, if you want to call it that. And Chrome just bogs up too much stuff. So I use Edge, and it came up on my MSN. I think one live stream should be a deep dive into that Jared Magician guy wrestler. I would love to know if if that was a heroin ending or what. Now, that's something that I've mentioned before, Larry. In terms of my favorite thing that has ever been done in the magic community is Jarek120, right? Disturb Reality, who's had a little bit of notoriety in terms of his YouTube videos, making a documentary about himself where the point of the documentary was to do a magic trick every day, record a magic trick to an audience every day. And he failed on day, I think, 13. And he failed on day 13. And it was him trying to get back with his chick. And then he ends up not getting back with his chick, and I think getting with a different chick. And then he got back with the chick. There was a weird love circle there. But I thought that was a hysterical documentary with absolutely no point. And by the way, the entire documentary was self-fellatio. That's essentially what it was. It was him, or is it autofellatio? I'm not sure. But it was him sucking himself off and having his people and family members say on how good of a person and magician he was, which is hysterical. Jonathan Rosario of telling me to purchase Bitcoin fame, often. Advice that I should listen to and adhere to, says Dope Content PigCake. Your channel legit helped me years ago overcome depression. Thank you. I hope that was in comparison, right? I hope that was by comparison, and that you saw me, right, looking like this, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. I could do that. I'm always reminded as to any time somebody's, said anything in regards to the things that I say on the channel and how it could be somewhat offensive. It's like, look at me. Really? You want to be me? You think I'm having people, I'm inspiring people to copy my opinion? Not really, right? I'm just kind of in my own little bubble here. I do recall seeing a Reddit post recently on the R Magic subreddit. I should pull this up, but it will take a little time to find it. And people mention, hey, who are your favorite YouTube magicians? And of course, me having the ego that compensates for my lack of height, right? Well under the average male height, but I make up for it in ego. I was there perusing, seeing if maybe somebody would say, hey, the old Pigster. It's my favorite magician, my favorite YouTube magician. And two people said that Piggy was their favorite YouTube magician. One of them said, I understand why people don't like him, but he's my favorite YouTube magician. And I go, thank you for that. At least that's something. You threw me a crumb. I appreciate that. Although what did get me a little bit, I would say my ego riled up, was seeing the other people that the Redditors. I'm going to pull this up. I'm dumb. I'm out here talking about it. This is a visual show. If I'm not here, right, I might as well not have video if I'm not going to pull things up. So let me look up Magic subreddit, right? Magic subreddit. Magic the Gathering is, of course, the first thing that comes up. This shows you how fucking blind I am, that I have to squint like I'm out here trying to look at my own penis, right? Magic. Oh, I wrote Nagic subreddit. Nagic. Yeah, Nagic. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you, Bing, for showing me that you are the best search engine. Magic. No, that's not what I want. I want Magic subreddit. Okay, Magic. There you go. Is this it? I hope it is. Jesus, that took a ridiculous amount of time. And you guys can't see what I'm doing, which I think is a little bit better because you don't see how pathetic it is. But let's see who people find interesting in the magic community, or their favorite YouTube magician. So let me scroll down and find a post. I know this is not making for good TV, but there's a reason for it, okay? Regular gig. My goodness, people post here a lot. I look at this from time to time just to see what people are talking about and subreddit. I do find a subreddit a little bit better than Facebook and the Magic Cafe, but it could be pretty bad too. And I realize, you know what? They're all bad. They're all bad because there's an underlying thing that weaves all of them together, and that is that they are all magicians. So they're all, unfortunately, magicians. They're going to have their pitfalls. Okay, so, man, okay, you know, I'm just going to look up YouTube and see if maybe that would maybe find it. YouTube. Blaine reads Margot Robbie. How about you tell me who your favorite? Maybe if I would have been smart, I should have written favorite instead of YouTube, because every other person has written had a YouTube link. Okay, that took how long? Did somebody time me as to how long that fucking took? Let's go back here so you could actually see what I'm looking at. This was a cesspool. Let's smoothly transition, my friends. Look at that. Right? Only took fucking 37,000 hours in order to get to this point. Jonathan says, hilarious antics pre-face reveal and to hype up for that moment. People that take your content offensive needs to look in a mirror in a dark room. I could agree that there's a little bit of, offensive content that might not be for everyone, especially looking at the titles of my previous videos. I had a BLM card trick in 2016. So I was on the cutting edge of that particular movement. Syrian card trick, right? There are certain card tricks and titles for tricks that, looking back on now, would definitely get my channel shut down. So this post, favorite YouTube magicians, right? I was just mentioning this as to me having a massive engorged ego. It's the only thing on my body that's engorged. And here, I was just seeing what people find as their favorite magician, right? I was looking for my name. Okay, let's be honest. I was looking for me. So let's see people that Let's see the channels that the subreddit enjoys, right? Brian Brushwood, Scam Nation. There's no argument there. All right, there's absolutely no argument there. Brian Brushwood, he's the reason a lot of us learned a lot of these wonderful bar tricks, these little quick puzzles and stuff. And even back in his spiked hair days, when he was doing that thing, which looking back on now was probably the cringiest haircut you could have as an adult male, still among the best YouTube channel for magic content and or puzzles, and it's just general stuff, and they've turned it to the modern rogue and just great, right? So that I agree. Jay Sankey is another one that's just an endless supply, exactly as this person says, of tricks, right? Some people might not like the fact that he's churning out a lot of stuff, but Jay Sankey's a grinder. He's a man that's on the forefront, right? He'll come up with 37 products in a month, okay? But you pick and choose what you like best, okay? You're not required to buy all of it. So you pick and choose what you like best. A lot of people disagree with that particular notion. I particularly like Jay. So let's see the other one. And Brushwood even responded himself, which is very nice. Brushwood being a man of the people. Doug Kahn, right? Doug Kahn, I believe he does that podcast with those Australian lads. Lloyd Barnes, okay, Magic Orthodoxy. Erudite Magic, I've never heard of that. Highly recommend Chris Ramsey, Alex Pandrea, Jay Sankey, Brian Brushwood, Craig Petty, and Fiddling Johnny. No PigCake. That's all right. That's okay. That's fine. Lloyd Barnes should have way more viewers. Lloyd Barnes has a lot of views. He has a lot of views. And as a matter of fact, you know what I was realizing too? Let's go back here for a second. Let's go back here. Your boy's out here, right, trying to grind it up, trying to get on the social media tip. I post something on TikTok. I post something on Reddit. Sorry, not on Reddit, on Instagram. Tremendous views. 10,000 views on Instagram, 50,000 views on TikTok, just quickly, right? Like within a couple minutes, it gets to that amount. I post a long-form tutorial on YouTube, 100 views. Now, I'm not complaining, right? I get it. It's based on the content, based on, what people are clicking on. There's no excuse. I can't really say, oh, man, it's the algorithm. It's me. It's this guy. But there's a disparity here, and I get that one's short form content and another one's long form content, but I put more effort on the long form content, right? I put more effort there. As a matter of fact, let's see this. Let's see how YouTube is trying to game the system here. I'm going to upload a short to YouTube, the same short that I uploaded on Instagram. I'm going to upload it now and see how that fares by the end of the stream, because I feel like YouTube is prioritizing their shorts now more than anything. So not the shorts, you know what I mean, right? Their shorts, it's their competition with Instagram Reels and with TikToks. It's their way of doing it. And I think it's kind of a mess the way YouTube has implemented it, because it's on the same feed. And it could really be a deterrent if somebody that you follow is posting like 20 of those to try to hit that nice little algorithm. And then you also have your inbox being flooded, your subscription box. So I'm going to post this, right? Make it public, easily make a card float, right? And let's see how that goes. So I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be higher than the video that I posted yesterday. That's my hypothesis. So let's go back here. Lloyd Barnes thinks. That's something that I'm kind of iffy about, right? Because Lloyd Barnes is blowing his load unless he has an unlimited repository of tricks. I met him in Blackpool, and I think he's brilliant. And just a really smart thinker, and funny, just fucking hysterical, unnecessary, without any effort, just being funny, just talking to him. I wish I spent more time with him, to be honest. But the stuff he's posting on YouTube is like shit anybody could sell. Like, it's stuff that people could actually make and sell. So I don't know what he's doing there, but it's definitely working out for him. We got, I'd recommend Daniel Madison, right? My favorite is Doug Kahn. That's 2 for Doug Kahn. That's 3 for Doug Kahn. That's 4 for Doug Kahn. I need to check out Doug Kahn more often. I've seen his performances on TikTok. Maybe I'm jealous because he's really good when it comes to even presenting classic tricks on camera. But, I mean, come on. At least, throw a bone. Throw a bone on the cake, Thank you so much. I've been subscribed. I also came here to suggest Doug Kahn. So maybe I should look at Doug Kahn instead of trying to find my own mirror here. Trying to look in a mirror, essentially. Sean Devine, I agree. right? Sean Devine, if you haven't seen it, or I made a video with him. He made a video of me. We switched characters, right? And even him trying to act like me, he still comes off as very sweet, very nice, very, a very lovely guy. Whereas me trying to come off as Sean, I come off as disingenuous. So I come off as playing a role of somebody who's nice. So we have Stephen Bridges, Lloyd Barnes, Scam Nation, Gaft Academy. You see how far you have to really scroll here to really get to the piggy, right? So far, no mentions. I'm kind of disappointed. Card Magic Tutorials, Ever So Slight, Reed Ferry, Scam Nation, right? Xavier Spade, Lloyd Barnes, Jay Sankey. You have to know of the pig, right? You have to know of the pig. This isn't just someone that I'm not just on the periphery, right? Magic Orthodoxy, they mentioned Spidey, PigCake. There you go. It took a while, right? It took a little bit of time. And then eventually we got this. Probably my personal favorite, but I understand why some of you are turned off. Only Real Virgins hate Piggy, but you said he was your favorite. And a little winky, right? So we got Piggy there. That's the only one. That's the only one so far, which again, disappointing, right? To my ego, it's a hit. It's a hit because I'm here thinking, you're asking about your favorite YouTube magic channel? So might as well make a Piggy post. Might as well just make a post why Piggy's the best, right? Might as well. If you're going to put a thing like that, a query, hey, what are your favorite YouTube magic channels? I'm just thinking it's just going to be Pig down the board. And of course, it's just one. I think maybe somebody else mentioned it. Let's see. Yeah, all the way in the bottom right here. Pig and Sean Devine. That's kind of disappointing, but that's fine. That's okay, right? It's fine. I'm not salty. I'm not bitching, right? Does it seem like I'm bitching? Does it sound like I'm upset at the subreddit, at the magic subreddit for not enjoying what is the visage of Piggy? Look at this, right? How could you not like this? You watch my videos, they're a little bit different. Maybe there's some jokes that might be a little bit on the edgy side, but you know what? At least the magic content is there. All right, the magic content is there, my friends. You get some nice tricks, some easy shit. I'm not upset. You're upset. Scam Nation is awesome. Literally the only people in the business side who do what they say. That is true. I tend to like their presentation. I always like, by the way, and I never understood this until recently, that Brian is always kind of playing a little bit of a dummy, right? Because there are certain things that, and this is a testament to how great he is at presenting, not to suck him off, but how great he is at presenting tricks, that sometimes, for example, you'll have like, I don't know, like a Diamond Jim Tyler showing him something, and it's something that every magician knows. Right, it's obvious to everybody that's a magician what he's doing, and then Brian will be like, "Oh," and then he'll point something out almost as if he doesn't know to try to convey that little bit of information to the audience. It's very subtle, but I love it because it would show questions that people might have, and he's doing that at the cost of him seeming a little bit thick. Right. And I love that because, again, it's something that you might have a question for somebody who's just learning the trick. So he's assuming that everybody's a beginner and might not be acquainted with certain magical things. So he's there to be that guy that goes, "Oh, but what if you do this?" Or, "I didn't understand that. Could you clarify this?" And he just does it in a way that's great. It's just something that I've just started to notice from Scam School videos. And he's done that all the while. But everything Sankey does is for the most incredible, astonishing thing your audience has ever seen. Yes, I know. He's kind of a marketing hoe. Right, Sankey's a little bit of a marketing hoe. However, I do think that he's done that for so long, and he's come out with so much good stuff. You can't just shake him. I still remember the first trick I ever bought was Jay Sankey's Airtight, and it taught me a very valuable lesson in magic. Right, because I'm assuming, oh shit, you could just do this. Grab a balloon, grab a deck, slam it in there. I'm just gonna be doing this all day, just fooling people. And then it taught me a lesson, which is good magic takes effort. Right. In that case, that trick took a lot of effort because the fucking balloons they gave you, I don't know what they were made for, but to stretch them, it's almost like you're stretching out my anus because of how tight it is. Don't get excited. Sean Devine chimes in saying, I just got home from getting my giant number 5 from Jersey Mike's. What did I miss? Well, I missed Jersey Mike's. I see that that's something referenced by a lot of people that live up north. I have no idea what that is. Unfortunately, here in South Florida and Miami, we lack a lot of these sort of northern restaurants that people take for granted. I know what I said. And Jersey Mike's is one of those. We don't have that. Just like Wingstops, that seems to be something that was popular. We don't have that. I think there's maybe one around, right, in a 30-mile vicinity. There's one Sonic's here, and it's in fucking Homestead. You want to go to Homestead? Homestead is by the Keys almost. So yeah, hey, let's take a 45-minute drive to go to fucking Sonic's. Sorry, not even like an hour drive to go to Sonic's. What? Should be ashamed of our restaurants here. Firehouse Subs. See, that's another one we don't have. We don't have that here. We had a Quiznos, right, which I'm glad closed down because every manager of every Quiznos I've ever been in is an absolute asshole. Speaking of assholes, right, this is something that adds to the point that I was talking about earlier, which is on why old people shouldn't drive. As a matter of fact, the title of this video is why old people shouldn't drive. And this is just a quick bit, right? I don't want to hanker on this too much, but this is from, I believe, the New York Post. And yes, all right, I believe the story is from, where is it? Malaysia, right? The story's in Malaysia, but it still holds true, right? This level of ignorance is pervasive everywhere. It's not just something that you're going to find in the streets of Malaysia, right? So this woman, let's see if I could smoothly transition. This woman drives with a dead motorcyclist on her car roof for a quite substantial amount of time. I really don't want to show the video too much, but you can kind of see the guy's legs there. Snuff warning almost. And the lady's 67, the guy's 26. She hit him in an intersection and kept driving. And just look at her, right? Just look at her there. This is such an indication of the problem here, which is this lack of any sort of, what do you call this? When you take accountability, right? And I see this all the time when I'm riding my bike, right? Your boy has a motorcycle. It's a nice motorcycle, right? It took a little bit of time to get to be a nice motorcycle, but what I have now is great. I love it, right? It's a 750. It's tremendous. Speeds up when I need it to. It's not one of these crotch rockets, right? I'm not going to launch myself on the inside of a Taco Bell like I've seen before. I remember being absolutely traumatized by seeing a picture or pictures of an individual that was doing, I believe, 200 miles per hour and crashed into a Taco Bell, and his lung was hanging from the air conditioner unit because of how his body dissipated, right? I'm not one of those. I'm very conservative. I'm very conservative when it comes to my driving and my riding. Right? I'm there. I treat it like a vehicle. I don't go between cars. I have buffer zones between the cars behind me. I'm always paying attention, right? I've learned this thing where I preemptively honk. I know it could be annoying, but every time I come to an intersection and I see a car pull up waiting to get on the lane that I'm riding on, I honk. Why? Because every single time that happens, without fail, they're not looking at me. They're looking the other way. So I give them a little bit of a preemptive honk. It's a technique that I've had to learn here because of how many times cars just look this way and are driving, not realizing that people are coming in from behind, especially a smaller vehicle like mine, right? So I have to be aware of these things. And old people are the absolute worst because old people are the ones that merge onto you, right? They look at their mirrors. Cars drive themselves now. Cars drive themselves. You have lane assist, so you don't even need to worry about the car. The car pushes you into the lane because it's aware of the lanes now. So you can't tell me that, oh, I'm just going to merge onto that lane without looking. The cars now tell you when there's another vehicle next to it. It flashes, and it lets you know, okay, now it's safe. And then you could look and still see that. No, not the old people. Old people are still of the mentality from the fucking 50s when they look at the rear views, and that's all they care about. That's all they care about. So when they merge, they don't really look. They say look twice for motorcyclists, right? They don't do that. They look once in the rear view. They don't see it. They're going to merge. So I always have to honk. And it's always some old lady looking confused going, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, why are you honking at me? I'm just trying to get on the other lane. Well, I'm on the other lane, missy. I'm on the other lane. It's called traffic. Get used to it. Rarely is it a younger person. Usually it's a middle-aged woman on her phone. Just rarely is it dudes. I don't want to be sexist here, but when it comes to my traffic incidents, I find it rare that it's a dude that happens to ream into my lane and do something that they shouldn't. It's usually just an older woman looking lost, confused, has a mask hanging on her fucking chin like this lady that we see here from this particular post. And this one went as far as to keeping the guy on the hood of her car. The guy was on the hood of her car dead for 2 kilometers, which in freedom units, I'm glad they translated to freedom units here, 1.2 miles, with the man on her roof before she was flagged down. I forgot that that's a thing, by the way. I forgot that that's a thing, that we get notifications if somebody subscribes and or does stuff. And one of them is Brad Christian. Brad Christian, my favorite card magician from Ninja 1 and Ninja 2 fame. No, he's not known for being the CEO of Illusionist. He's known for his work in Ninja 1 and Ninja 2. Michael Lawrence says, Sean Devine, sorry, I already read that one. You could get Cubanos, stop complaining. That is true, but what I find too is that Cubanos, which is a sandwich, it's a very common style of sandwich, right? It's pretty much everything. I went to a Cuban restaurant, as a matter of fact, with Daniel. Greatest service I've ever had, because it makes me feel like I'm at home. I order bread with croquettes, and the lady goes, "I'm not gonna get that for you. Like, I'm not going to get that for you. You're going to get this better sandwich that has croquettes in it." Croquettes is a fried meat thing, if you're not aware of that, if you're not cultured. She said, "No, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you something better, and you're going to eat that." And I go, "All right." And I ate it, and it was better. It was way better than what I initially was going to order. I love that. I love that sort of attitude. And that's only prevalent in a restaurant that feels like you're home. And they also didn't update the decor since 1985. So that also made me feel like I was at home. Manel, says, "Woohoo, look at the drip." Right? I'm wearing your drip. I like that it's tight on the arms. It makes me feel jacked. It makes me feel like my workouts are actually doing something. But really, it's the shirt. It's the illusion of having a chest when I'm gonna stop being humble. All right. It's because my massive chest is bursting through the shirt and my massive arms rip through the seams of it. But thank you for the shirt. I'm glad you're here. I was mentioning it earlier, right? But I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I like even better the sex number in the back, right? That makes me giggle every time I see it, right? Oh, 69, right? Whatever the number would I be? Oh, was I going to be number 1? No, 69. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. You have 0 back, says Steve Wonderbooks. Yeah, that is a problem, unfortunately. I do need to put a little bit more emphasis on my back. I keep assuming that push-ups and doing stuff that are chest related is also going to work out the back. No. I need to get into, what do you call that? Pull-ups. But unfortunately, in this place, I can't put my fucking pull-up bar anywhere. There's no doors. The way they designed this place is almost as if it was a garage and wasn't intended to be an apartment unit. But there's no place I can hang that on. So I'm going to have to do more, I would say, be more creative with my back exercise. Let's see. Piggy with heart problems. Better get the 4th booster. I'm too far behind. Well, I thought I had heart problems. It just turns out that it's anxiety. It's anxiety from nowhere, right? Just generalized anxiety. And I thought I was having a heart attack. And for some odd reason, look at the correlation here. Look at the little correlation here, right? I get the results back from my blood work. It's gone. Everything's gone. I feel great, right? They tell me everything's fine. They look at my stuff. They scan me. They do all the things that they do. They say you're great. Now I don't have it anymore. Go figure, right? Isn't the human brain amazing? Isn't it amazing what the human brain could give you, right? Especially when you're looking at WebMD articles as to the symptoms that you possess, and they tell you, oh, this could be thyroid related, this could be heart related. Dude, you really need to check yourself. And it's like, no, it's all anxious. Bent over rows. Okay. All right. That's another one I might do. As I mentioned before, the workouts that I've been doing now is that I've been working out throughout the day. So I pick a particular body part, and I'll do exercises the entire day for that particular body part. I'm not doing I'm not sitting down and doing 4 sets of whatever. I'm working out the entire day. So by the end of the day, I've essentially done a bunch of reps, right? And I do try to focus on the form, right? So I might add that to my workout. Today, what is it? Today might be chest. Today might be chest, right? So this was the thing that got me to the urgent care, which is I was doing chest 3 times in a row, and then I thought, oh, my chest hurts. I'm having a heart attack. No, it was because you're a moron. So learn from my mistake. Don't bring your bike to the UK. Don't bring your bike to the UK. Then even worse here for bikers, or otherwise. When I was over there, I also didn't realize. I didn't realize how little motorcyclists there are. I guess because when I went, it was still snowing and stuff. Turner went on his bike and still fucking revved it down the street there, aggressively, mind you. But I didn't see a lot. I didn't see a lot of scooters or motorcyclists. Here, it doesn't matter. Rain, shine, it's irrelevant. People are going to be on their scooters. They're going to cut you off. They're going to go between lanes. They're going to go on highways. In scooters. Are you having a laugh? What are you trying to do to yourself? So, Phil Smith says, isn't Florida mainly old people, or is that just a stereotype? Certain parts of Florida, right? Florida gets a sort of retirement stereotype where people go to retire in Florida. And that's exclusively a rich person thing to do, in that a lot of people have their summer homes here, their winter homes here, because winters here are like summers for you, essentially. So that's something that happens, but that's more north. That's more north on the coastal areas. Here in Miami, unfortunately, it's a tourist trap. It's a disgusting tourist trap. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm probably going to consider going to one of the bigger tourist trap areas on a little walk. And you have to navigate through all the people taking pictures of street signs and taking pictures of stuff like, oh, man, look at Miami. This is Miami. At least that's Miami. What I hate the most is Miami Beach, because people go to the beach and they assume that that's Miami. No, you went to a different city, my friend. You went to a different city. That's not the way it works. You're not in Miami. You're in Miami Beach. It's a different place entirely. What you get there is no indication of what it's like in this area. I was going to say off the beach, but we're still technically a beach. Let's see. Piggy drives a Prius. Well, that's the thing, right? Because I was thinking like, man, a car is definitely not something I would be opposed to, but I don't want to get a regular car. So the car that I was thinking of getting is a smart car, a convertible smart car. That's the car that I would like to procure if I was to get a car. Although I like the motorcycle better than anything. I feel safer on the motorcycle, believe it or not, more so than in a vehicle, an actual vehicle. So I don't know. That might be a future thought, but at least for now. Speaking of anxiety, any chance you'd be interested in a meetup on the 29th and respond to me in Discord? Are you, or you're coming to the 305? I think you mentioned that before. If you are coming here, let me know, man. Hit me up, and then I'll consider it depending on how how unrapey you look, right? Depending on how unrapey you look. If you look rapey, I'm gonna be like, oh, dude, man, sorry, dude, I got to do something. No, I don't. But yeah, let me know if you're here in a 305. Also, what you said, I think you were here for something. I forgot for what. I remember, guys. I remember. I'm not just here with my ego being inflated because I have a marginally successful YouTube channel. Let's see. Highest percentage of the population in entire UF, but far from a majority. You talk like someone who's been hit and spent months making videos on crutches because the idiot who hit you was also uninsured. Well, luckily she was insured, right? The lady that hit me. Now, the difference is the spectrum here, right? She was insured to what capacity? To what capacity was she insured, my friends? And that was the minimum. She was insured to the minimum capacity, meaning that there was some negotiations that had to take place for the medical bills. There was also some factors that had to be taken into account. And ultimately, I ended up coming up short from that particular transaction where I made the least. And I think for the months that I was out of commission, it was not worth it what I got. Now, the potential was there. Had I got hit by somebody with a decent insurance, your boy would have been out here. You would have known. Because this stream would have been in a different venue. right? The stream would be taking place in a different venue, and avarice would be the theme of every single stream. Unfortunately, I got hit by what is the equivalent of, or what we call Mickey Mouse insurance. So I did not cash out. I didn't get one of those signs that say, hey, my lawyer got me $200,000. Instead, my sign is, hey, I almost ended up owing money. That's what my sign would have said. I'm coming for a training event for Fort Lauderdale. I've got to go buy my tickets soon. I'll send you a video so you can start. Well, Fort Lauderdale is about 30 to 40 minutes up from the 305. But if you're willing to come down for a beverage, I'd be glad to indulge. I'm always down for a beverage, my friends, especially after you guys saw me on this channel in my straight edge days. Could you believe that until I was 27, I never had, I had sips, maybe drips of alcohol, but I never had entire alcoholic beverages until I was, I believe, 28 years old. So you guys saw that in the channel. I believe the first couple years, straight edge, sober as a rock. I was the guy with my arms crossed in the party going, wow, everybody's acting like idiots. Now, guess what? I've enjoyed the necessity of the liquor, all right? And now it's a great thing. Drive down for a beverage. That sounds great, especially Fort Lauderdale. There's a couple tourist traps in Fort Lauderdale you could hang out with, but Miami is definitely the place to go to. I'm coming to the 305. Is that rapey? Says Steve Wonderbrooks. Coming spelt, of course, with a U. So I don't know if you're looking at a picture of 305 and you're giving it one of those tributes, as I've seen on websites, right? That's kind of a terrifying prospect. Red Dead says, yes, a beverage. I don't know why that had Max Maven vibes. Sean Devine says, in my state, they recently lifted the helmet law. I haven't seen anybody wear helmets since that day. It blows my mind. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan, right? I know. Yes, everything you're thinking, I already know, right? But I've worn a helmet a couple times. It almost hinders my ability to be aware. And then also the worst part, it presses on my ears, so I can't hear shit. My ears are already fucked as they are. I can't hear anything from this ear. I don't know what happened. It happened more aggressively the past week or 2 weeks that I just can't hear. Maybe I got water in the wrong place, but I just can't hear. From this ear. And I've tried using the oils. I've scooped fucking pounds of earwax out of it. I've sprayed it. There's a lot of things that I've done. Still can't hear. So what the hell? I can't hear shit. So I want to be aware of that. I feel claustrophobic. I know. Yes, I'm aware. You don't need to give me a lesson. I know. I'm wrong. Right? I'm wrong in this scenario. I think in Florida, the law is very weird. If you are insured, you don't need to have a motorcycle helmet. If you aren't insured, you need to have a motorcycle helmet. I think that's my understanding from what I remember from the classes. Might be wrong, but nobody ever checks that. No cop ever pulls you over for that. They will pull you over, though, if you have a fucking earphones, right? If you have earphones on a scooter, they'll pull you over, and they'll make you pay an $180 ticket. That's what they'll pull you over for. But apart from that, they don't pull you over typically for that. They typically don't pull over motorcyclists, I find. Just because of the risk to reward is not so high. The Jerks had an Out of This World of Lux where the spectator finds the cards in a pornography deck that you cummed on. That's great. I'm sure with Lux that would probably be good. I remember him showing me that Lux trick in England, and he goes, don't tell anybody. This is a secret. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking great. Although the Lux thing, unfortunately, what I don't like about it is that it seems to... Like, oh, here's a UV pen. I think the moment you have to take a UV pen out in performance, that really, I lose credibility, right? If it's like a pen that is like a Sharpie or something like that, which is why that double cross is so good. I've never had it. I've never had double cross, but every time I see somebody do it, I was going to say does it to show you my ebonics. Every time I've seen somebody do it, it always gets great reactions because it's perfect. It's a perfect trick. You draw an X. Take it out, it goes on there. Everybody's familiar with a Sharpie. Everybody's familiar that it's permanent, that it's hard to get off. And that doing this to take it out is pretty much impossible. And then even more impossible when they find it on their person, right? And it's something that exists organically. For me to take out here's a UV pen. I'm going to draw this UV thing on you, okay? Look at it. It's gone now, and it's on me, right? Look, you could touch it. You have to take out a UV pen. right? I think novelty-wise, it's great. I love UV effects. I taught one recently on a PigCake Magic Academy. Hey, look at me shilling my shit. Using it as a multiple outs thing, which I thought I liked the handling on that because it's doing, it's my variation of Max Maven's prediction, right? And and you have essentially one prediction that has 2 outs because of the UV ink. So I like that. Now, again, you do have to carry the UV pen, right? Which I do think, or UV light. So that's a little bit, you have this on you for what reason? So it's odd in that capacity, but I think it's very novel. Lux is the same thing. It's very novel, but the fact that you have to take out the pen and you have to take out the light, to me, that's just something that I can't get over. But it looks great, and especially when they did it to me, I was like, what the fuck? How the I was thinking it was things with the pen, maybe how the ink. No, it's way more clever. You're going to get your hearing back at the least expected time. I've noticed that. This has happened to me many times where I lose hearing, and then suddenly out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, sounds. And it's the worst thing because it feels like a bullet, essentially being shot in the head. I have a UV pen to make sure I'm not sleeping on piss on the sidewalk. That's a good one, right? Magic justifications are my favorite thing. I might just, you know what? I don't have my fucking pen. I was looking for the pen before I started the stream because it's a special notebook. Man, that's a good idea. Magic justifications. Terrible magic justifications. I hate when magicians justify their tricks in illogical and stupid ways, right? And it happens so many times. Oh, here's, for example, Lux, right? I'm not saying it's a bad trick. I'm just saying it's not for me. But how would you justify carrying around a UV pen and a UV light? You have to carry both for the trick, right? Oh, I like to do there's no real reason, but you know that they'll probably give you some weird justifications that, again, don't make logical sense. Sponge fucking balls, the only justification is that you're a magician. Now, again, look at the difference here. Look at the similarities. They're both tricks that are tremendous. They're both things that are going to get you ridiculous reactions. What's the reason for this existing? For me taking out this ball of sponge from my pocket? There's no reason. It's there, right? It's what it is. It's a prop that I got from a magic store. That's his only existence. But you'll have somebody say, oh, no, this is a clown nose. I carry clown noses on me. I carry 2. Hold it in your hand. Here's a third one. Look, it's in your hand now. So magic justifications might be a good video. I've fallen off my bike so many times, yet I've yet to hit my head. Unfortunately, all it takes is once, right? Unfortunately, all it takes is once. I do recall getting hit by a vehicle, and as I'm in the air, I'm thinking my main priority is to land somehow on my back and not on my head. I remember thinking that as I was getting hit. I remember everything happened in slow motion. I got hit, right? And then I just fucking, I'm like, oh, back. And then I ended up landing on my back. I was thinking, hey, do this like a wrestler. Take a back bump, right? So I wanted to land on my back. So that's what ended up happening. And luckily, I avoided any damage with my head. Although people did think that I was hit because I was trying to make jokes the entire time. I was trying to make terrible jokes to the ambulance drivers. I was trying to make jokes to which is, by the way, another fucking mistake. But trying to make jokes to the doctor, to the people that were there. I try to make a lot of jokes, and none of them hit. And I think it was because I just got hit by a car. No justification is better than a lame justification. Tremendously said. Sean Devine, I agree. If you don't have to justify, you just take it out and do it, right? Unfortunately, that does apply to people taking coins out of coin purses. Right? Oh, here, can you examine this coin? Perfect. Yep, you like it? I'm going to put the coin back in the coin purse, right? Also, magicians do this thing that I'm not going to mention who, but there's a person that I see all the time on Instagram, right? Doing stuff for a certain conglomerate, right? And every time I see this person do tricks, the way they handle stuff is so awkward. I'm trying to look at something so I could show you, right? Let me see if I could best show you this. And every time I see this, it makes me cringe. And granted, this is coming from me. I'm not really the best when it comes to sleight of hand. There's pubic hairs all over this. But I'm looking at things from the perspective of somebody who has eyeballs, right? And, every time I see people like this do stuff, they'll have something like a wallet, and they'll go, look, a wallet, and they'll go right here. I'm gonna put this here. Like, who fucking holds something like this? Like, who holds something like this? Right? Granted, you need to do that for the method, I'm sure, but they do this all the time, and they'll be like, oh, look, I have one billet here, and then I have another billet here, and I'll just put this one here, and I'll just hold on to this one like this, right? And then they'll do something, and then it's like, well, did your mom give you thalidomide as a child? What was that? I don't understand what the need of this was. Obviously, for the method, you probably need to hold it like this, but there are other ways. You could circumvent that, right? Maybe do one of these, right? Maybe hold it like this somehow, figure out a way to do it like that. You don't need to do one of these things, right? Look, I'm just going to put this here, and I've seen them do this constantly, and it's awkward every time I see it. So that's another thing, another pet peeve of mine, right? I hate pet peeves. I hate the word pet peeve. I hate the concept of pet peeve. That's a pet peeve of mine. Let's see. These are sponge balls that killed my grandpa who worked at the factory. I want to make them vanish. That's great. That's great. Which I mean by all technicalities. By the way, that shows me how virgin you are. You're making a reference to Al Goshman. Right, there you go. You're making an Al Goshman reference. I was going to say a Steve Dacry. That would be an even more virgin-y reference. But I got it mixed up. You see my virginity, because he's the one that would do the cups with the bowl. Right, sorry, the balls with the bowl. And he was known for that. But no, it's Al Goshman. Al Goshman. I have some other things that I wanted to mention here. But this has been a magic-heavy episode. And I don't think you guys want to hear me talk about how Starbucks is racist for dietary racism. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to go through that topic of why Starbucks partook in dietary racism. I found this article when I was looking for stuff, and I was reading it like this. Reading it like this, right? That's my hand shaking out of anger, my friends. Just as the stretch Armstrong that takes place. But I don't know if I want to go through that. Let me just use this UV pen to see if you had a wank this morning. Show me your hand. Why do I have this weird prop? Well, I knew I wanted to show you this magic trick I'm working on, and it uses this weird prop. That's even better. Yeah, it's even better. That's fucking great. Oh, why do I have this? Oh, so I could show you this trick. That's why I have this particular prop. Oh, here's a haunted key. Don't look that up because it's going to tell you the method. But I'm going to place this key precariously on my hand, right? I want you to concentrate on it. I want you to concentrate on it and watch it turn over. Oh, it's going now. You're doing well. You're doing well. And it turned over. Perfect. Great. You could examine this, please. Why do I have this? So I could show you this trick. I hate magicians. Please explain dietary racism. Okay. It's about lactose, right? Says Steve Wonderbooks. Yeah, I guess. You know what? Might as well get into it, right? Might as well. It's a topic I wrote down for myself here. Dietary racism, I guess, looking through this article. Why? Because, I don't know. I think, honestly, we have way too much too much time on our hands. There's a combination of time. There's a combination of wanting to feel something, right? You're making up for a lack of emotional childhood, something. Maybe you were given everything you wanted and you want to feel something. You want to feel oppressed. You want to feel, so you write an article on how milk is racist. So let's go through this, my friends. Right, we have the article here. I like to look up the author. That's something I like to do. Right, doesn't really do much, but lets you know kind of what you're thinking of. This is from I believe, a vegan blog. Let's see. These brands are making vegan dino nuggets, right? I guess this is what they write. Trying to think. Because I've been burned before, my friends. I've been burned before. I'd do it. I would do it. All right. That's a good picture. Right. That is Jimmy Carr. Yes. I believe that was the bit here. Right. They just wanted to, I guess, take a picture of Starbucks being humorous. And they have a popular comedian Jimmy Carr. So this particular individual was talking about dietary racism, right? And how a publicity stunt called it out at Starbucks. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with dietary racism, but it's a thing that's on the rise, especially amongst vegans and climate activists. I would change that. I would change that to exclusively, only amongst vegans and climate activists. So here, apparently, Starbucks had well, this is a great thing. That should have been the name of this episode: racist milk prices, right? So I'm trading on eggs here, my friends, because I don't want to say anything that would potentially get me in any sort of trouble, right? But if you're a fan of mind reading, you could already know what I'm thinking, right? Let's see if we could do an experiment here. I'm going to think of a word. Let's not do that. Never mind. All right. So this goes off to explain what dietary racism is. Refers to policies within a food system that unfairly target people of color. Okay. So here they're talking about food deserts, right? Talking about different things that exist apparently where certain groups don't have access to certain foods. And you know it's good when they use Latinx. That's when you know. You're setting up yourself for knowing what the rest of the article is going to be for or about if you see the person talking and using the word Latinx, which is great. Let's see this person. Sophie Hirsch, right? Looks to me like a white woman, right? Doesn't seem to have any Latin features. And of course, this is the type of person that uses the word Latinx unironically. That's another point. As a matter of fact, you can look at my video. You can look at my video talking about Latinx and how it's not a thing. I made a magic trick thing. Like I was doing card tricks and doing flourishes while talking about how ridiculous of a notion it is. That's racist, by the way. So that's talking about dietary racism. Now here it talks about lactose intolerance and the need and necessity for milk alternatives, right? And the fact that milk alternatives are extra, right? So when you go to Starbucks and you get something like, for example, oat milk or almond milk or a different type of milk that's not dairy milk, that's racist because you're making people that are statistically more likely to be lactose intolerant pay more for a product. Mind you, coffee at a Starbucks, I would venture to say, is a luxury item. It's not a necessity, right? So if you're already going out of your way to pay extra for coffee that you could easily, cheaply, and more often better tasting make at home, I would argue to say that Starbucks is a luxury item, right? It's something you don't need. It's something that's not necessary for your survival, right? So if they're going to charge a little bit more for oat milk, that's the nature of going to a coffee house to get your coffee, as opposed to getting the beans or getting the grinds and making it yourself, right? I think that's an argument that everybody could agree with. So the fact that Starbucks pays more or has you pay more for non-dairy milk is the argument for racism because of the fact that most people that are lactose intolerant are blacks, Latinx, right, and minorities. So that's their argument. And of course, they have a documentary. They're trying to kill us, talking about how dairy milk is passed out to children in schools. You know, it's part of the thing they give you. And apparently this was a prank that made people think that they were ending the upcharge that they would have for non-dairy milk. Am I the only one here? Right? I think everybody could agree. I think everybody could agree that this is a stretch. It's not necessarily an issue. It's not a problem, right? You're seeking out coffee from a place that you know is already going to overcharge for coffee. So don't you think they're going to overcharge for things that are in addition to the coffee? Don't you think that that's normal, right? Don't you think that that's a very common thing? The alternative, the logical alternative would be what people do, which is make coffee at home. I put some protein powder right in this coffee. I used non-dairy protein powder because I don't want to be gassy, right? And that's the logical way. But of course, this lady here, Sophie, has to make a point and mention as to how that is in fact a racist act. So the stretching here, my friends, is kind of ridiculous. Let's see what people said in the comments here. It's pronounced Latinx. It's pronounced Latinx. I like that. Stu Batman, they're placed in the UK where you get in trouble for asking for black coffee. It should be coffee with no milk. I think Larry Isley said it best when he said the word is retarded, which I got into an argument with someone on TikTok because I used the R word. And they said, shouldn't we live in a time where people shouldn't have to subject themselves to hearing this word? I'm not talking about people that are clinically retarded. I'm talking about the word and its definition, which you're acting like that. So, fuck off. It's pronounced Latinx. Is this article trying to make the case that white people are better because they have better digestion? I need to go buy chicken nuggies for the kids. Stay safe, baboons. Baboos. I don't know if you're referring to the character from Seinfeld. But Mike, the person in the article is trying to postulate that it is unfair that in Starbucks and or a lot of coffee places, you have to pay extra for alternatives to non-dairy, right? So alternatives to dairy products like milk, you have to pay more because there are more lactose intolerant individuals in minority groups. That's the hypothesis that they're trying to push. So what they're saying is you shouldn't charge extra because charging extra is racist. Because, white people don't tend to be statistically lactose intolerant compared to minorities. So therefore, they're paying less for coffee and you're paying more for coffee just because you're lactose intolerant. Again, Larry Isley said it best. Name a vanishing deck. The appearing duck, just to confuse people. Why is Jimmy Carr there? Oh, that's funny. Sorry, Phil Smith. I just read his comment here saying, don't get into magicians naming things the most obvious thing. Now my hand is shaking, right? Obviously referring to the haunted key. It's almost as if you're doing an ambitious card routine and you go, hey, so this is an ambitious card. And this card likes to be on top. You know, obviously being easy to search. McDonald's is racist because they charge extra for nugget sauce when only cis white men eat nuggets without sauce. Suck my nuggets. That is true. That does seem like an argument that is you would see in a blog like this, right? Where they would say, oh, look, it's not my fault that whites traditionally don't like to have spicy foods. They just like to have bland chicken. So therefore, people that like to have a little taste in their foods, you got to pay extra for sauce. That's racist. So that's a good argument if you stick your finger in a power socket and you have the same logic as Sophie Hirsch. Of which case, by the way, if she would come up to me at a party, I would definitely consider. I would definitely do it. I wouldn't say no, right? I wouldn't be like, whoa, based on this picture. Not terrible, not awful. Looks like the person that would write this, by the way. A New York-based journalist who loves earth animals and analyzing Taylor Swift's music. If you put a gun to my head and told me, hey, could you guess what Sophie Hirsch's description for herself is going to be? I would have probably guessed that verbatim. I would have guessed that exactly verbatim. Let's see. Starbucks is a business. They will charge whatever the fuck they want. Those people who are both anti-racist and total simps to corporations are the worst. I agree. And I think it adds to the point that I was making earlier about if you want to not be overcharged for something, make it yourself. Buy it in bulk and then make it. You don't have any need to go to Starbucks. The fact that they're charging, they could very easily not charge for, they could charge for whole milk if they wanted. They could. It's their prerogative. It's up to them. I heard that it's prerogative and not prerogative. That changes my whole life if that's the way you actually say it. Like right here, like a perfect example. Made some Cuban coffee, put some vanilla protein powder in it. Right? It's non-dairy. There's no dairy here. I don't want to get gassy. I made it myself. I saved money because the protein powder only costs a fraction of what comes in a box. Coffee, of course, is already cheap when you buy it in the packaging. And I didn't have to go to Starbucks, and I don't have to get oat milk. I don't have to get paid for it. So this is a nice way of subverting that. The fact that you're going to Starbucks shows a little bit of privilege, wouldn't you say, compared to other countries that don't have that same luxury. So you really have to expand your worldview. A lot of me search is what these people tend to do. They tend to do a lot of me search, and they think that minor oppressions, such as getting charged for oat milk, are indicators of a massive problem that's percolating. When really you got to step outside of your worldview and see that there are others that definitely don't have the luxury of going to a Starbucks and picking what type of milk they want. So maybe think about that before you write a fucking article saying, charging for milk alternatives. Milk alternatives that are often worse for you because if you just take the milk from an almond, right, you milk an almond, it tastes like shit. It's watery nut juice, right? You got to add shit to it to make it taste good. So oftentimes worse for you. But that's another issue. Going back here, I'm all in on Piggy. That's funny. Piggy, have you ever taught or covered the Ed Marlowe Upjog edition in all of the Academy? I'm not sure. I know there's a couple just based on a name where you're adding cards. There's that beautiful move from, what's his name? The drunk guy. Not Larry Isley. Larry Jennings, right? There's one by Larry Jennings. I think the optical add-on. Oh, immaculate. You could do it from any angle, right? Even if you see it from the back, there's no way that you can know what's happening. I just saw this happen right now. Okay, there you go. There's no way that you could see it done. Beautiful stuff, but I'm not sure about the Marlowe one. I might take a little note of that. If I had my fucking pen, my friction pen anywhere here, I could take a note of that. Let's go through here. Don't get offended on behalf of people who aren't offended. There you go. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly what it is. That's what I was talking about, the Latinx concept, right? Yes, you're trying to be inclusive, right? You're not trying to make it a gendered thing, but then if you maybe did 4 seconds of research, you would understand that Spanish is a gendered language, right? So if you're introducing these things, well, then guess what? You're colonizing their language. Isn't that funny? The very thing you accuse people of doing, you're doing yourself. No Latin person came up with the term Latinx. That was a white thing. So if you want to argue, you're colonizing the language. Yeah, it's the book I'm reading. I might look into that. I have a bunch of the moves that I'm going to put up. There's one that I'm considering not to put. I don't know if I've taught this before either. I find myself in this rut where my memory is shit, so I have to write everything down. But there's a trick that I'm considering teaching. I don't know where, but it's one of my favorite things. Right? And it's called My First Dollar. And it's about your first dollar bill and finding it. It's based on Jeff Sheridan trick, where he would have people take out $1, right? And I didn't like the way he did it because there's a lot of compromise. So I have a good way of doing it that doesn't necessarily, it seems natural. But the trick is a bunch of people have dollars, and then you go, yeah, I need that dollar from you, right? Let me give you $1 as a matter of fact, because you're not going to believe this, but this is actually the very first dollar I ever made. Look, don't believe me, just watch. And then you show the back of your wallet, and the back of your wallet in gold embossing has the serial number of the dollar bill that they gave you, right? So you could show the fact that you cared about it so much that you embossed it and you put it on your wallet, and of course the dollar bill matches the serial number. I thought it was a great premise. I put a little variation on that. I don't know if I taught that anywhere, but I'm considering teaching my variation on that. It's not really a method per se. It's just I think a nice way of doing it that you could do it and put it in your wallet, and something that you don't have to have a fucking wallet embossed. But I always loved that premise. But just the way he did it was kind of iffy because he would have people take out dollars and he would be looking for them. I like the idea of you're going to do a trick and then you look at the dollar and then you notice a serial number. And then you get off into this tangent where then you prove that they did in fact give you the same dollar that you earned for the first time, your first dollar. So I don't know if I've taught that. Bring your own lactose intolerant milk or cream to Starbucks. Get banned from the place. The more people that do this, the better off society will be. Power to the lactose intolerant people. I remember when I went to the urgent care the last time, one of the things I asked was, I think I'm lactose intolerant. And they said, if you think you're lactose intolerant, you're probably lactose intolerant. And I said, I rather you tell me, this was verbatim, I rather you tell me I have super AIDS than I'm lactose intolerant. And she giggled. So at least I kind of hit that off, which is true. Just fucking lactose intolerance is the worst. I love cheese. I love brie cheese, mozzarella cheese. I love provolone cheese. I love cheese in general, right? Pasta, I'm a huge fan. Parmesan, right? You freshly grate it. My favorite. You're telling me that I have to now take a pill every time? Look at what I'm complaining about. Look at how oppressed I am. That I have to buy a pill every time I'm oppressed. In the book I'm reading, microaggressions is the retarded name for it. Microaggressions is another thing entirely. Those are aggressions that you do, essentially, that are so minuscule that you're not aware that you're doing them, but you are doing them, and they have a profound effect on the victim. Okay, I need to also learn how to, because look at this. Look at this posture. I need to put my tits out and have this be my normal posture. There was a girl in school that I used to go to school with that would sit like this, and all the dudes would be looking at her drooling because she would have such an erect posture. And then none of the girls understood. All the girls are like, why are you guys all looking at her? We're gross. I think that's the stream, my friends. I think that's the stream. Unfortunately, I have some obligations that I have to attend to, adult obligations. And I thank you guys for being a part of this. I thank you guys for watching the stream. It's great to have an audience, right? Otherwise, I'd be doing this for myself. Every Wednesday, you could find us here, 11 o'clock Eastern Time Pacific. You could find your boy streaming, right? Doing a little bit of a stream, showing you some things, talking about things. We actually missed out on one topic today. Let's see what it was. I guess I'll just put that for the next one. Rubbish. There's a rubbish thing that I wanted to get into. Again, this whole thing's rubbish, right? So really, am I missing out? It's meta, because am I rubbish talking about rubbish? Am I okay. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys, and as always, remember to floss. Floss is actually very important, and you want to floss correctly. You don't want to just floss in. You want to make sure you have those little toothpicks that make it easier, like the ones with the little string. And you're kind of doing this sideways thing. So you're getting all the gunk between your teeth. And I have shitty teeth. I have little short, fucking skimpy teeth, because I think I used to grind it as a child. And my parents didn't believe in going to the fucking dentist. So I had little itty bitty teeth. But still, you want to get the fucking floss in there and get all that gunk out. Clean your tongue. That's the other one too. So yeah, do that. Nancy Pelosi, Insider Trading.